Another unit in the internal business environment is time and task management. So what is time and task management then? It's one of the most important skills an effective manager should possess. As we know, time is a limited resource. It's a limited resource in life, but it's very much a limited resource in business. So managers have to make sure that they manage their time so that they can work effectively and work efficiently to ensure that all their tasks are completed successfully. So you can see here that time management and task management really pretty much go hand in hand here. So good time management techniques, if they use them, if managers in an organisation use good time management techniques, then they should see that the best use is made of the time they've got available. They should see that time wasting activities are minimised, so that means that organisations can improve productivity. More time is made available for important or urgent jobs from managers. Jobs are completed to a higher standard because jobs are not being rushed. Deadlines are met on time, which can improve customer satisfaction, so customers are likely to come back to you. And the organisation can become more competitive if customer satisfaction improves and sales go up. And internal and external working relationships are improved, so different relationships between different stakeholders are improved. Motivation and morale can increase as managers are less rushed, so they can have more time to spend with their staff and be more pleasant to their staff. And time pressure is alleviated, so managers don't incur stress to the same extent that they ordinarily would. So what about ineffective time management then? If time isn't managed effectively, then problems can arise. For example, something called activity panic, which means that jobs are left unfinished and the manager's left running from one crisis to another as deadlines approach. Now what that means is accidents are more likely to happen, there's more likely to be stress, there's more likely to be staff turnover, and there's more likely to be absenteeism. So activity panic, because you've run out of time, you're not managing your time correctly, jobs are left unfinished, which lead to a whole catalogue of errors. You've then got this thing called reaction, not action. Now what this is situations arrive where the manager has to react to crisis rather than planning and leading effectively, and that would be poor quality work. So what we mean there is the manager hasn't taken time over the decision and they are having to very, very quickly put something into place, which is just a reaction to something that's going wrong, and it's not necessarily the best one. Work overload's another thing, and what we have here is just basically being pressed for time, which results in a huge list of jobs that still have to be finished. So you're not getting your jobs done in time, and the result of that is your to-do list is just getting longer and longer. So we have these things called time stealers, and time stealers, these interrupt the management process. So you've got things like not planning effectively, and if you don't plan effectively, that's going to make the job you're trying to do a lot longer because it's not planned out and you're doing it kind of bit by bit sort of thing. Interruptions from different things like your telephone, visitors coming to your office, colleagues who just want to come in for a chat, all of these things are a problem. Workload overload is a time stealer because what you end up doing is chasing your tail, and you find that you're maybe half doing jobs and you're having to go back to them, and you'll find that it just is very much a time stealer. You've obviously got a lack of discipline, procrastination and indecision. What we mean by that is you think about doing something and then you might think about it again. You might think about changing it and you're not actually getting anything done. You're indecisive. You're not able to make a decision, get a job done. So the result of that is it's just stealing your time. Another issue can be communication problems, finding it difficult to get in touch with colleagues, maybe things like emails not working or not being able to get people on the phone, or just maybe not being able to catch someone in the office because they're always busy or they're not around or whatever. Perhaps just now actually communication problems have maybe become a bit more difficult in the light of a lot more staff working from home, and trying to get hold of staff who are maybe working from home to run something past them could be a perfect example of a communication problem in this day and age. Also lengthy meetings. Yes, we have to have meetings in organisations, but sometimes they can go on and on and on, and perhaps that people are not gleaning very much from the meeting as time goes on. The meetings are just going on, and that's stealing time that you could be using for other things. So what about task management then? How does this fit in? A manager will often have many tasks to deal with at the one time. An orderly workplace, strong admin skills, and the use of planning aids will help a manager to carry out their tasks effectively. What I would like to say here is it's also very important you think about your time management as well. So planning aids could be an action plan when long-term projects need to be planned, and you will plan where you expect to be by certain times. A to-do list is really important. People write to-do lists perhaps on a daily basis, and what you really should do is list your tasks in order of priority. So your high priority tasks get done first. Gantt charts are also covered in evaluating business information, and they're a way to schedule activities in a project. So what they do is you can see how a project is commencing. For example, a house builder might use Gantt charts to see the progress of the different houses that are being built, so they can see when the customer is likely to get a move-in date. They would use a Gantt chart, a chart with different coloured blocks showing the progression of a particular task. An electronic diary is a good one, because with electronic diary you can put tasks, to-do lists in, you can have a task list as well, you can do lots of different things, as well as making sure that you're not double booking meetings, etc. And you can certainly make time for things a lot more clearly. Delegation is important. Managers should assign work to subordinates to empower them, but it also gives the manager more time to be able to do the tasks that they really should be doing. Target setting is really important to achieve your goals, and you may have heard of SMART targets. So it's really important that your targets are SMART, okay, in order to allow you to achieve your goals. So you've thought your targets out clearly and you know what you're expected to do. Another thing is that you should be organising your resources. Now what we mean by that is keeping a tidy workspace, making it well organised so that you can find things when you require them and you're not having to hunt for things that are not clearly visible to you. And finally, avoid time wasting. Try not to waste time. Try not to have numerous visits to the photocopier or to someone else's office when you could maybe do it in one. So these things are all really, really important. Now, we were talking about target setting earlier on, and I mentioned SMART targets. And this little table here shows you what SMART means. And when you set targets, they should cover these different parts, these different areas. S is specific, which means you state exactly what's got to be done. Don't flannel around it. Specific. Measurable. M is measurable. Include a form of measuring a target, often a quantity or a value, so we know we've done it if we have reached sales of X amount. Agreed is A. Discussed and approved by line manager and team members, so people agree on the targets, they're happy with the targets and they should go ahead. R is realistic. Yes, your target should be challenging, but they should be achievable. Crazy if they're never going to be achieved, because all you'll do is demotivate your staff. And T is time. There should be a deadline to work towards. So these things are all really important. The final slide here is about monitoring and controlling targets. So how do you do that? And here are a number of ways in which you can do that. Managers must be responsible for establishing and implementing control mechanisms and monitoring the achievement of targets when they're set. So what can you do? This little table tells you quite a lot. Regular supervision by a team leader. So make sure that when you're carrying out your targets, team leaders are checking regularly. Random constant checks throughout. So that's basically where people might just pop up now and again. There's not really any rhyme or reason for it, and we really call that quality assurance, if you like. Double checking a completed task, making sure that somebody has looked over a task. Someone might do a job in a piece of a Word document, and someone else might then go ahead and proofread it. Double checking it. Mentoring, having someone who is in charge of you that you can go to control and keep you on track. We call them senior advisors and mentors. Buddying, or a buddy system, is where you're partnered up with a peer, so working together with a peer, and the two of you can keep yourselves on track. Regular meetings, it's important to have meetings that are short and to the point for communication and feedback. Market research methods, that could be you finding out from customers what they think of the service through things like Trustpilot, etc. Gantt charts we've already spoken about, where you can use charts to allow you to see the progress of a particular project. Internal audits, these are just internal checks that you might, people in your department or your boss might just carry out now and again to check that the tasks are being done correctly. Action plans, where you are planning out a long-term project and planning out the different stages of it. Personal development plans, where employees are filling out development plans. We call them PDPs, which is where they will actually put down all their training and development and what they've learned from it, etc. And that will allow them to monitor and control targets too. And self-evaluation, looking at yourself and seeing how do I think I've done, and that's quite important as well.